Welcome back, professional wrestler, comic book collector, video game enthusiast, Zach the Ripper Comics here, and happy Halloween 2020. It's been a hell of a year. Now it's time to celebrate Halloween with Friday Night Smackdown. After what I thought was a horrible pay-per-view last week in Hell in a Cell, we opened things up on Smackdown with the Universal Championship title scene of Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman and Jey Uso. Uso makes it clear that Roman never actually beat him into saying "I quit." What happened at the pay-per-view was that Roman took Jey's brother Jimmy, the injured Jimmy, who interjected himself into the match, and Roman put him in the submission hold, so Jey quit to save his brother's existence at the hands of Roman Reigns. And now here we are, Jey's supposed to fall in line as Roman is the head of the table, the tribal chief, and Jey's making it clear that he did not beat Jey, that Roman did not beat Jey, and that he will not fall in line. Roman tells Jey that he loves him and that this was all for his own good, and he brought this on himself, and this is the natural order of things, and he will fall in line by the end of the night to Roman Reigns as the head of the table. So this leads into the main event match, which is a qualifying match for the SmackDown Men's Survivor Series team. And now we found out that through graphics and without the mention of NXT, that NXT will not be a part of this year's Survivor Series. Just this past Monday, all of the graphics for Survivor Series still had the NXT gold, and now we know that they will not be in, as the entire graphics have been rebranded to just red and blue. Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan, two fan favorites on SmackDown. These guys had a hell of a match. I thought it was excellent and really, really well done. There was a couple spots done by Daniel Bryan that really scared me, though, regarding his concussion history. As a professional wrestler myself, as a wrestler with a concussion history, it made me cringe on a couple of the top rope spots. Roman Reigns comes out with Paul Heyman in tow, and Roman just staring dead at Uso. Uso sees him. No physicality ensues between them, but instead, Uso, with Roman on the outside, is able to defeat Daniel Bryan in what many are calling an upset, to win the match and advance onto the Survivor Series team. Roman Reigns gets in the ring and simply stares over at Daniel Bryan, and Uso unleashes a vicious attack onto the prone Daniel Bryan, who had just lost the match. In post-show content from WWE, we learned that Uso continued the attack on Daniel Bryan once SmackDown went off the air, putting him through a table on the outside and potentially injuring Bryan. Uso would eventually, with tears in his eyes, walk up to Roman and say, "All right, I'm in, you're the head of the table, you're the tribal chief," and Roman just smirked. Now one has to think that the reason Jey Uso was crying and so emotional with this attack on Daniel Bryan is that it was either these past couple months of anger and frustration and hurt coming out in that moment, or it was the realization of what would happen to his direct family, his brother, his wife, his children, if he didn't concede to Roman. Next up, we have another qualifying match for the Men's Survivor Series team as Kevin Owens takes on Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler has the absolute worst gear in WWE. His tights have 4 different designs which make no sense. His calves have no muscle whatsoever, so his boots flop around the whole time. And straightening his hair looks absolutely stupid. But at least he's wearing professional wrestling gear, because Kevin Owens again had on jeans and his stupid little rock shoes. Now, I praised Owens in this last week when it was an impromptu match, but this one, however, was not impromptu. This was known ahead of time. I need to calm down because I was going to save it for the end, but I have a surprise that I'm going to have Kevin Owens on this show, this episode that you're watching right now, at some point. And I just want, look, I'm a wrestler, I know people, look, you know, you don't have to worry. It's really Kevin Owens. Anyhow, Kevin Owens wins with the stunner, moves on to join Jey Uso on the SmackDown Survivor Series team. Horrible backstage promo between Bianca Belair, Billie Kay, and Natalya. Adam Pearce walks in and basically it turns into a three-way match up next where the winner would join the Smackdown Women's Survivor Series team. If anyone thought anyone but Bianca Belair was winning, you'd be mistaken. Obviously, Bianca Belair got the victory in this match. The match was not that bad, but also not that great. I think Billie Kay is best when she's in the tag team. I do not think she works well in one-on-one competition, or in this case, three-way competition. Either way, having to be in there the entire time. I'm going to call it right here, right now. My honest opinion is that at Survivor Series, Bianca Belair will be the sole survivor for the SmackDown women's team. Murphy, it's you. Murphy and Aaliyah up next. Murphy wants to apologize to the Mysterio family outside of Aaliyah for everything that he's done to them over the past 6 months and everything that he's done by way of Seth Rollins over the past 6 months. The Mysterio family does not come out to accept his apology. Instead, Seth Rollins comes out. Seth just kind of stirring the pot in this whole thing, which eventually brings Dominic and Rey out. Brawl ensues between everybody. Dominic and Rey want Aaliyah to leave with them, and Aaliyah says no. She then grabs Murphy for a huge kiss. Now, I want to make this clear that Aaliyah, although legal, is only 19 years old. And again, the Mysterio men, Rey and Dominic, look like a bunch of assholes. SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, defeated the Artists, the former SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and the internet was in an uproar following this match, not understanding how the former champions could be beat again. Look, they're building the Street Profits for Survivor Series in the Champions versus Champions match against the New Day, which is going to make the Street Profits, because New Day have been the thing for the past 6 years, and now the Street Profits are becoming the thing. Then following Survivor Series, the Artists will get back in there and get back into the mix. No need to worry. Calm your little panties down. Really cool moment when Montez Ford was launched into the Thunderdome screens from Cesaro, but the end came when Montez was able to hit a huge top rope frog splash onto Shinsuke, which looked very stiff and could have potentially injured the man. Everybody get triggered because Sasha Banks is up next. Sasha coming out looking like anything but a babyface. She does not look like anybody that I would want to cheer, that I would want to get behind, because it looks like she's looking down on me and everybody else. And I just wish for one promo that we would get Sasha Banks lifting up her title. She never actually just lifts that belt into the air when she has it. All she does is stand there with it at her side. Bayley eventually comes out, and although there's no automatic rematch clauses anymore, she's able to say that she challenges Sasha Banks to the match, and the match is automatically accepted without Sasha even having to do so herself. I'm all for a wrestler making challenges, but they can't actually make the match. Either way, it's probably a bait and switch maneuver for an extra little point in the ratings, but next week we have the SmackDown Women's Championship match, a rematch from Hell in a Cell, but not in the Hell in a Cell, between Bayley and the new champion Sasha Banks. The story here is that Sasha Banks knows how to win belts, but cannot hold on to them once she's won them, and that has been very true, minus the reign of the Tag Team Championships that her and Bayley shared. Last week's YouTube comment of the week was very successful. A lot of people found hilarity in that. I'm just telling it like it is. Let's go to this week's YouTube comment of the week on Zach the Ripper Comics. This one is from Paulo Baltarejo. Paulo says, "You are, dumb. D-U-M-M. No punctuation after the M. Paulo, thank you very much for the awesome comment. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video and leave your piece of thought. And how thoughtful, how well written, how grammatically beautiful on a public wall. Thank you. I appreciate it. Believe it or not, that's SmackDown. Now I have to wonder, a couple things that they started just a few months ago and even last week, such as Chad Gable. Last week we saw the promo where he threw down and he quit Shorty G and he went back to being Chad Gable. No mention of it this week. No promos, nothing about that this week. What about Big E? He's been on this big singles push and everybody's getting behind him, and no mention of him this week. He's not on the show. And Corbin, King Corbin, Baron Corbin, Boring Corbin, whatever you want to call him this week, for the better part of a few years now since he's been on the main roster, he's been a top heel on SmackDown. And over the past few weeks, he hasn't even been there or mentioned. I'm hoping they're repackaging him, or at least taking the King moniker off of him. But I just find it really weird, all three of these talents. I mean, I understand leaving them off of matches or something like that, but maybe do a vignette in between on the weeks off. Kind of weird. Leave a comment below on what your thoughts are on this. If you're getting any value or entertainment out of this video, please hit that thumbs up button, drop a huge Con Air elbow drop right on it, tune up the band, and hit the sweet chin music on that thumbs up button. It really goes a long way in helping us as a community in this channel. Now, everybody knows that over the past couple months, the Dean himself, Dean Douglas, has been a little finicky with Zack the Ripper comics. We had him on at the very beginning of this series, helping grade the Raws and Smackdowns, and ever since then he's played a couple tricks on me, putting up some bogus things up there. But I wanted to let you guys know that I rag on Kevin Owens, the KO Show, WWE Superstar, a lot. I'm not a real big fan of his. I know he doesn't like me that much either. But I do try to promote his website. It's his Kevin Owens OnlyFans Only Eats, as we know that he just can't stop eating. He's actually adding materials to his clothing now, as he's been wrestling in long jeans. But I'm not going to do that here, because this week on Zack the Ripper Comics, as you know, I'm a professional wrestler. I can tug at those strings on my connections and get the people that you guys want. And you guys wanted Kevin Owens, so here he is. Good old KO. How are you, bud? What's going on? What'd you think of SmackDown?
You don't mind if I wear my mask, do you?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fine. I'll put mine on.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. Are you okay? You sound like you're having breathing problems just wearing a simple mask.
Delicious apple. So, if you don't
starting
mind,
to sweat. You're starting to sweat.
I'll leave you on these parting words. This fruit's calling my name.
Of course. No surprise there, guys. Kevin Owens doesn't have much time, as he wants to go eat. He needs to go eat. Go ahead, bud. Go eat. If you're interested in a cool mask like this, feel free to hit me up on my Teespring store. The link is in the description below, where you can grab this mask and a ton of other Zack the Ripper Comics merchandise. That's our show, guys. I want to thank all of my patrons on Patreon for pledging and supporting this channel, as it goes a long, long way in prospering us as a community. I want to thank everybody for liking the Facebook, finding us on Instagram, hitting up that eBay store, and liquidating all of the comics that I have available. I'm going to put a lot more up in the coming weeks, as well as liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Happy Halloween. Until next time. Oh my God. It's so hard. Come on. Come on. Oh my. Oh. These things pack a punch. And as a professional wrestler, I can honestly tell you how strong these are and how hard they are to get open, because of all that cool, crisp, refreshing, all that seltzer, baby. Pound it. To what we do not hello, and potentially injuring the brine. Ribbit. Now one has to hush. Now of course, if it, dun 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 dun. And my battery's dying.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're acting like a child.